Hello, everyone, and welcome to the February edition of the ATFA vlog. My name's Adrian Connolly, the ATFA president. Let's get into it. We've got a big program today. So firstly, I'd like to pay my respects to the traditional owners on the land I am on today, the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation. I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past and present. So today, we've got a GP Australian Grand Prix wrap-up, a great interview with Beth Everley, and a bit of a training tip and another competition as well to wrap things up today. So let's get into it. We've got a lot to go through. So first, let's bring up on the screen some of the results from the other weekend up in Sydney for the Australian Grand Prix. Let's go first to I think it was the first event that was finalised, the juniors and then the women's in the Fistus category. So we had 3 competitors in the under-16s, which was good to hold a junior event again. Caitlin Grumbach took that one out, so well done, Caitlin. She backed it up in the women's draw as well and did quite well there as well, finishing in 3rd. Both Caitlin and Catherine, I think it was their first Fistus event, so great to see them stepping up into their first Fistus event. Same with Gabrielle and Samuel, so it's great to see some new players coming through. Beth and Imogen, the favourites for the women's category, went at it, and Beth took it out on goal difference, very close there, as a lot of us expected. So well done, Beth, to take out the Australian Grand Prix again. And we'll talk to her a little bit later on, pretty soon, actually. So then in the open category on the Saturday, I'll just bring those results up as well. So a big draw we had, which is brilliant. 8 groups, 7 groups of 4 and 1 of 5 we had in there. Unfortunately, we had a late withdrawal in there due to family reasons. So hopefully all is well with your family, David Wright. The last late sickness, I believe, there. So hopefully all is well. Family comes first, obviously. So most of the seeds topped their group, but not all of them. A couple of upsets in there. So Peter Thomas took out Group 1 from Nick Brill. What under to Tim Focus had beat Nick Brill in the first game there. Nick went quite deep into the tournament, so fantastic from the junior backing up in the opens. Elliot took out Group 2. Tight contest there for second place with Frank Kazarin taking out second. Well done, Frank. Group 3, Luke took it out from Costas. Luke cruised through his group a bit there. So did Elliot, actually, 16 goals without conceding. Group 4, Vickers took out my group. The Battle of the Adrians, Adrian Connolly, myself, and Adrian Grumbach decided second place, the last group game of that group, and cracking goal I scored as well. You'll see online in the highlights a bit later as well. We'll show some of the highlights. I think Peter Thomas in the final, they might have just stolen my thunder on the goal tournament, unfortunately. For me, definitely his goal was a goal worthy of the winning the event, as we'll get to in a second. Tony Creditino took out Group 5, and with Greg Werner sneaking into second ahead of Beth and Imogen, who lined up again in the same group of the open category. Group 6, Adrian Elmer upset the seed, Danielle Lombardi, to take out that group. Set up a clash with myself in the round of 16. And Richard Edison, though, from New Zealand, got a goal in that one, which was great to see. One of the newcomers get a goal in the Fistus category. Group 7, Steve Zutri was a bit of an upset there, taking out one of the favourites for many. Fabrizio Coco was favoured to go deep into the tournament, which lined up a horror draw for him, unfortunately, after finishing second place in his group, in Group 7. And in the final group is a group of 5, a bit of a group of death, that one. Benji Batten took it out from Robert Green. Rob Green was unseeded, so he slotted into that one with the 8th seed, Benji Batten. Hugh Bess is in 3rd, Paul McGee 4th, and Michael Ridge, a bit of a baptism of fire there in that group, but got a goal, which is good work. It was a tough group, that one. So into the round of 16s, so Peter Thomas lined up against Fabrizio Coco in the draw in the round of 16. Many probably thought that was going to be much deeper in the tournament. Peter just got through 1-0 in that one. Benji was too good for Frank Kazarin, 5-1. Tony Credentino also similarly 6-0 over his clubmate Costas Barbaris. Danielle and Vickers wasn't much between them. Vickers took it out in extra time, 1-0. Luke was too good for Greg Werner, 5-0. Myself and Adrian Elmer went all the way through to sudden death shots before Adrian Elmer took that one out at 2-1. So well done to Adrian. I couldn't quite get through the shootout again. Second year in a row I've lost a shootout in the round of 16. I think that's a bit of a avenue for me to practice there, maybe. So that's all good. And Steve Dietrich and Nick Brill, not much between them either. Nick Brill took that one out in extra time. And Greeny beat Elliot Kennedy 2-1. I think Elliot might have been up 1-0 in that one. So a big game, that one, between those two long-time rivals and clubmates. In the quarterfinals, Peter Thomas was hitting his stride, was too good for Tony Credendino, winning 4-0. Benji Batten, good win over Vickers. A couple of big screams there for his goals in that one. He got a little bit excited with the winner in particular. Nick Brill caused a bit of an upset beating Luke Radzaminski. Luke, of course, made the semi-finals last year and probably thought he was going to make it again with the way the draw lined up. But Nick played quite well throughout the event and made the semis. Well done, Nick, coming up from Canberra. And Greeny, was too good for Adrian Elmo. Greeny, by this stage, had really warmed up after a bit of a slow start, was playing very well by this stage of the weekend. As you'll see in the semis there, Robert Green was too good for Nick Brill in the semis, 4-0. And Peter Thomas beat Benji Batten 3-2. I think Benji might have come back from 2-0 down to level in that one, with Peter winning in the second half. Another big screen there for the winner in a tight game. Then the final was very close as well. Greeny pushed Peter Thomas all the way. He had a 1-0 lead. I think 1-0 at half time it was too. Peter Thomas come back to draw level, and then with a great goal in sudden death extra time, took out the event. As I said, a very worthy winner of the event, an amazing goal that you'll see a bit later on. So let's go to the teams event. Just bring that up before we go to the Waspers ones. We'll go through all the FISTF categories first. So on the Sunday we had a club teams event. So we had two groups of three. Excuse me. Group one, we had Sydney TFC, Melbourne TFC, and for the first time ever, a New Zealand club team, the Northern Line Flickers, which I joined. And that was the big transfer news in last month's edition of the international transfer. I signed across to the Kiwis, so they had a team of three. You're probably disappointed that was the international transfer. You might have thought it was going to be something more exciting, but it was great to join Conrad and Richard in the teams event. So yes, Sydney and Melbourne were too good in that, but we had a lot of fun. It's good to see Conrad getting a goal in there against Polo as well in one of our games. In the other group, were Western Sydney and Northern Falcons were the two club teams in there. The Hip Fingers, it's a placeholder for what were they called? I can't remember the name they were given, but they like the Barbarians, so a mixed team of other players, two Hip Fingers and two Falcons. I think Tony Ball's still a Falcon. He's wearing a Hip Fingers shirt, so it's confusing me. With the FISTF sort of changes, those teams can progress, but don't earn any points. Not being an actual club, but the club teams are without any surprise sort of progress through. So we had Melbourne and beating Western Sydney in one semi-final, Sydney losing to Northern Falcons in the other, to set up yet another clash in the final between Melbourne TFC and Northern Falcons. And ultimately, Melbourne was too good in that one. 3-1 was the final result. So well done again to Melbourne taking up the club teams event. So let's go to the Waspers. So we had a consolation Wasper on the Saturday first. So we'll bring that one up. Bear with me. Here we go. So in the consolation Wasper random draw organised by Richard Wilson with the support of John T. Brenner. So thanks very much for those two stepping up to run that. We really need that to happen from those that are sort of eliminated from the main draw to make sure that that happens. So all those eliminated from the main draw plus any from the junior or women's category that were keen on more games could compete in this one. A lot of close games in there. 3 results in the round of 16 were determined on shots, and great to see Conrad yet again getting a good result there. So he got up 1-0 over Michael Ridger to progress to the quarterfinals. So well done, Richard, in the Wasper from New Zealand, coming across for his first ever event in Australia. Richard Wilson, Hugh, Jonty and Paul McGee all progressed from the quarterfinals. In the semis, two sort of mirror image results there. Richard Wilson beat Hugh Best 2-1 and Jonty Brenner beat Paul McGee 2-1, setting up the final between the organisers. Rigged, and Jonty was too good there in the final, 3-1 over Richard. Well done, guys. Progressing so far whilst you're organising is quite challenging. So well done for doing that, for stepping up and for competing quite well as well at the same time. Then on the Sunday, we had the Travellers Cup going in parallel with the teams event for those without club teams. I think Vickers might have organised this one, so thanks very much coming from Singapore, Vickers, to obviously put you to work, did we, and organise the Travellers Cup. So a round robin event there between the 6 players all playing each other 5 times. So plenty of games for those players on the Sunday as well, which is great, against different players for a lot of them as well. Vickers too good there, winning all 5 of his games. Nick Brill, though, not far behind, so just that one loss to Vickers. Nick again competed quite well right across that weekend, so took out second place from Jonty, Hugh, Beth and John Focus. So all done, all involved there. Lots more games for you all on the Sunday. So I think that's a wrap for the event. It was great. A great event at the Willoughby Park Bowls Club in Sydney. Thanks to the organisers of that, particularly Steve and Louis Dietrich for all their coordination and filming as well on the day. Some great footage they managed to get taken throughout the event. And to our sort of head referees, Adrian Elmer and Elliot Kennedy, and for all those that helped set up and pack up. There's a big crew involved in that as well. So thanks to everyone involved in such a great event. It was, probably one of the ones that I've enjoyed the most, to be honest. It's perhaps fortuitous, more so than necessarily deliberate planning, that all the Melbourne crew stayed at the same hotel. So that sort of just added a bit more socialisation to the weekend. I think we all sort of enjoyed that. I'm not sure Vickers did. He was also there. I think he thought us a bit too mad in the Ubers to the venue each morning, but we had fun. He probably thought, oh my God, I'm going to stay away from those guys next time. But that was good fun. We'll go to some of the footage now of some of the goals and highlights, and then we'll get back and talk to Beth Everley.
Ole, ole. Ole. Yeah. It's 21-8. Ole, ole. Let's go to Melbourne. What you got to say, Steve?
So, people ready? People ready?
Ole. Ole, ole. Ole. The sun is rising on the great Southland. There's gonna be a line in the sand. The lions are coming to the great Southland. Red, blue and yellow, battling hand to hand. The sun is rising on the great Southland. There's gonna be a line in the sand. The lions are coming to the great Southland. Red, blue and yellow, battling hand to hand.
Shooters ready, take your race. Keepers ready, let's play the game.
Ole,
Shooters ready,
ole.
take your race.
Let's go.
Keepers ready, let's play the
begin, and hope that's not the only thing you're gonna win. Shoot left or shoot right, the angles are slim. If the goalpost is square, it would have gone in. Flick it to keep it, and make your own fate. The score's like a 0-0, but who's way, mate? The aim is for fun, it's never too late when Sabuti is the winner, and the winner is great.
People ready? People ready? Shoot. You tell it? People ready? People ready? Shoot.
Shooters ready, take your aim. Keepers ready, so play the game. Shooters ready, take your aim. Keepers ready, so play the game. Shooters ready, take your aim. Keepers ready, so play the game. Shooters ready, take your aim.
Choose left or choose right for the chance to begin, and hope that's not the only thing you're gonna win. Shoot left or shoot right, the angles are slim. If the goalpost is square, it might have gone in. Flick it to kick it and make your own fate. The score's like the 0-0, but whose way, mate? The aim is for fun, it's never too late when Sabuti is the winner, and the winner is great. The sun is rising on the great Southland. There's gonna be a line in the sand. The lions are coming to the great Southland. Red, blue and yellow, going hand to hand.
Shooters ready, take your aim. Keepers ready, so play the game. Shooters ready, take your aim. Keepers ready, so play the game. Shooters ready, take your aim. Keepers ready, so play the game. Shooters ready, take your aim. Keepers ready, so play the game.
I don't know whether Nicolas can come back from that.
Very difficult.
Just before half time.
Robert also very good at keeping position. And therefore very good at frustrating Robert.
Oh. Green again. Calmly grinding away up the front. Again, beautiful turn. He's got a chance here to set this one up. Oh, he's buried it. That's it. Game over. 4-0. The show table. Best ducking thing. But it doesn't always work out. Oh, now the chance. Chance Greeny. Chance now. Beats Flick out of going. Oh, it did. It's a goal. The second half of the Australian Grand Prix final. Got around it.
Brothers hosting the Major of France School. Oh, there we go! There's the winner! There's the winner! There's the Australian Grand Prix.
Yes, well, some great goals there. I'm sure you all agree. So great to get some high quality footage of the event. Thanks again to Louis Dietrich in particular and Steve Dietrich for setting up and running that throughout the weekend. Without you two, that would not have happened. So thank you very much. Now let's get into our feature interview of the month. We've got Bev Everley. Get into that one. I'll get into it. Okay, welcome to our guest for this month's episode, Beth Everley. Welcome to the show, Beth.
Cheers, Adrian. Good to be here.
So for those that don't know Beth, she'll probably return to being our #1 ranked women's player in Australia when the rankings come out after winning the GP just the other week. It's already a couple of weeks, isn't it? Which is scary. The weeks are flying by. So congratulations first on that win, Beth. Back to back now, GPs, which is pretty impressive.
Cheers,
Adrian.
Adrian.
Bit of a break with COVID, but back to back it was. And well done as well for sort of re-engaging the scene in Victoria recently with getting a venue for your club, of course, the Northern Phoenix TFC. So big shout out to Preston Druids Cricket Club for supporting you and getting the venue up and running. So it's been good. We've sort of stalled in COVID times in Melbourne, the most lockdown city in the world. Not a claim to fame you want to have. So well done. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no worries. And look, a big shout out to Preston Druids. The cricket club have been absolutely incredible, and it's good to get things kicking off and flicking off again.
That's right, and even getting the likes of Kevin Grant back this week next week, which will be good. Kev back again, which will be great to see Kevin. Seen him at all for a while, so good to see Kevin around, the legend of the game here in Australia, of course. Everyone down here knows him, and overseas often know him about how to make tables. So, firstly, Beth, I'm interested if you could tell me about how you first got into this game. How did it all start off for you?
Well, I guess the same as a lot of people who come over here from England. We played it when we were kids. So in the 70s, late 70s, I got my first Subudio kit on the floor, you know, catwalking across, all those things. Got absolutely hooked. I was able to, you know, be Bristol City in miniature, and they won everything. So yeah, really, I got.
So you really, just had the original set with the red and the blue team, so you could be Bristol City, and is it Bristol Rovers blue and white as well?
Yeah, Bristol Rovers blue and white, but Bristol City always won on my living room floor. So yeah, started off there and then just kept playing, had a break, and then when I came to Australia, I found Benji. And
okay,
yeah, and then got into it from there and been playing ever since.
Yeah, and so you grew up in Bristol itself, or were you just a Bristol City fan? It's otherwise it's
No,
I've always assumed that, because it's like, otherwise why did you choose that?
Otherwise, why would you choose pain? No, I was a season ticket holder with my dad and my uncle for years and years and years at Ashton Gate. Yep.
Yeah, cool. No worries. Yeah, certainly can relate to a lot of it myself. Yeah, I sort of grew up with it as well, probably a similar sort of age to you, by the sounds of it. You're playing on my bedroom floor with the old red and blue teams, and I became a Man United fan after we lost. Oh, that was the game we did win when Kevin Moran got sent off. Must have been like the '85 FA Cup final. But that's the only game that's ever telecast, right? It's the FA Cup final in Australia. So that was that's probably the first soccer game I can ever remember watching live, and just went for the red team. So yeah, Manchester United, of course, it was one in my red versus blues as well. Wish the real team would return to that. So you obviously play the open category down here, and where we have an event, the women's category, which I'm a big supporter of personally. For those out there that don't understand why we have the women's category as well, do you want to sort of share your thoughts about why you feel it is important to support it?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because a lot of people ask me, why is there a women's event at all? The skills are the same, the game's the same. There's no real reason why we should have a women's event. But my answer to that would be really access to the game and encouraging girls and women to play our sport. I mean, there's that thing of you can't be what you can't see. So if you don't see women play, then you're unlikely to be attracted to the game. And we have so few women playing that I think to have a women's event makes us very visible. I mean, I guess a good example would be the Grand Prix just gone. I don't think Catherine would have played the event if there hadn't been a women's event. And she's new to the game, and she got to play at a very high, a good standard, and is now very keen to play. So I think it's all about access and encouraging girls and women to play. And if we're good enough, we're going to be playing in the Open as well. Yep.
Yeah, and it certainly helps with that comfort of taking that first step into a festive event and feeling the atmosphere that we had, right? That Grand Prix. Yeah. The atmosphere was just brilliant, wasn't it? It helped, I think, for us Melbourne crew that we stayed a bit by chance rather than design in the same hotel, all of us, because it just I enjoyed it probably more than ever, the whole event. Perhaps just because it wasn't run there for a change, but maybe that's also why. But it just had a really good feel, and to enable as many people as possible, and a few juniors for similar reasons as well, right? That they can enter in an Open, but it has a big level of discomfort to take that step against
and I think
adults.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned in the juniors, the under-16s was won by Caitlin. Yeah, and so the under-16s was won by a girl. So other girls are going to see that, and it means that they're going to be hopefully encouraged, and they'll have a pathway into the Open as well. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, and I personally think I've found that regularly, that the girls seem to pick it up quicker than the boys, I've found. Like Charlotte was like that, right? I know she didn't always win, but she just seemed to have a different understanding and ability to flick even than some of the others. The quality of her flicking, if she was in a festive event, would have been more acceptable than some of the boys that we had here. And even in New Zealand, it's the same. There's a girl over there, I forget her name. She impressed me that first time I went over and met Richard and co. Richard didn't play that night because he was mainly filmer, but yeah, Conrad, although he wasn't winning, I picked up that he had the best flicking style of the adults. And there's a girl there who I think might have won their league or finished up in top of one of their cups or something recently. Just seemed to grasp it for some reason. We just need to then keep them hooked.
And I
keep
think
having that
that's the
pathway
thing.
to a development.
And I think that's the thing, it's to keep them hooked. We look at Imogen here, you know, she's a great player, playing in the Open, beating men in Waspers all the time, getting good draws. She's got a fantastic defence. And if we think internationally, we look at young Ruby Matthews. She's leading the way, having recently beat won the under 16s in Paris. And she's leading, and she's going to be one of the best Open players, not only women, not only the women's event. I was able to go over there and play Ruby when she was shorter than me. and she beat me 3-0.
She's not very tall.
And she beat me well. So I think the women's game is exciting, and we just need to keep it going and keep them hooked.
Yep. Yeah, I was starting to watch. I hadn't got around to watching yet that Ruby's game against Greenie that was filmed. I started watching a bit of that recently, and it's just like, wow, okay.
Yeah, and she beat Greenie. Sorry, Greenie. Yeah, so it's an exciting time.
Yeah, I agree. What else were we going to say? Yeah, so in terms of some of my memories as well, some of my fondest memories of the game here in Australia actually involved some of the women's games and games you've been involved in. Some good, some not so good for you personally, Bear. I'm sorry. My first one that sort of jumps to my mind regularly is the 2018 Asian Cup final between yourself and Kimi Wada. Partly because I was refereeing as well that game, but also, well, the drama in it because it went to a shootout, and the crowd that we had gathered around. I don't know if you was that focus that you didn't notice, but certainly I did as referee. And during the shots, there was a big crowd of atmosphere because we, sort of deliberately designed it. It wasn't sort of, shortening the profile of the women's game. So there was a whole raft of other games going on at the time. So certainly at that shootout, everyone was gathering around. I think I even had to tell people to back off a little bit because everyone was getting too close, which was great, right? I think atmosphere.
That was one of my highlights, was the Asia Cup. It was incredibly tense final with Kimi. Went to shots. I channeled my English, obviously, by losing the penalty shootout. But yeah, I think you're right. The highlight for me was that, in fact, so many eyes were on two women playing. And again, you can't be what you can't see. And everyone was watching. So I agree, that was great.
Right. Yeah, no, that's certainly one of my vivid memories. And next would be then when you turn the shootout loss around, 2019, not against Kimi, but the Grand Prix up in Sydney, shootout again to decide the title against Juliet this time, who've had a lot of close games over the years with, I should say. So that was another one. That was another good tournament. I thought as well, all sort of tight games. I think Juliet only progressed on shootout. I think you might have won 1-0 over Charlotte or something, I think, in your semi, but all tight games. And it was similar there as well. I might have been ref again. I don't know. I know I was ref in Juliet's one. I saw some of the images in that again recently with, again, the same deal, the crowd gathering around as a shootout against Imogen, I think it was, and Juliet's boys all there and then jumping onto her after she won the shootout. It's just great to see, again, all that engagement. And like you said, other women sort of seeing that as well. It's obviously supportive, encouraging. What are your sort of reflections on the win and the loss of the shootout?
I think
tough way to win,
highlight,
tough way to lose.
Yeah, I suppose my highlight, I mean, there was that one. I think I beat Charlotte. I think it was 2-0 and then won the shoot, and then I think it was 1-1 in the final and then won on shots. But I think my highlight really was the very first one, the very first win. 2016 maybe, but it was a way back.
Okay.
But it was away, maybe 2019, I don't know, one of the guys will remember, but the first win in the GP over in Sydney, and it felt good to be the very first. And I kind of thought, whatever happens from here, I will be the first. So that was lovely.
Yeah, it's good.
But I think for me, it really has been, my highlights have been keeping the women's game going, to be honest, and also being able to play in the Open, play players like Carl and Peter Thomas and Greenie. I've only scored a couple of goals against those guys, and those are massive highlights. Yeah.
Just a shame we didn't get that one of yours that we all turned around from.
Oh.
Was that on the Saturday or Sunday when you screamed at the long range? All we could see, we were physically standing up the other end of the table, so we knew how far away you were when you scored that one. I think everyone realised that it was absolute belter.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased with that one. Yeah, it's always good to score those long range screamers for sure.
Yeah, which is good if you're starting to get that into your game. But those that know, it's probably the one last thing, which a lot of people struggle with. It's just that shooting.
Yeah.
Once you get that shooting going, the results start flowing. Then you sort of, a lot of people try and well, I think a few of us were talking about it at the GP that often our defence improves first, but when you're learning, you're largely defending.
Yeah.
Then you start getting better at moving the ball forward, but then you struggle to get through the other opponent's defence. And then the last thing that really kicks in then is the shooting for most people. So yeah, watch out if you start scoring some of those long range ones. You'll trouble a lot more of us, I think, that's for sure. Now you're probably looking forward to, especially on the back of some strong performances across the GP weekend. You've got the World Cup to look forward to. You're going across, well, we've still got to confirm all those places, but almost certainly in the Australian team in the women's category, you've booked your tickets to because you're going across anyway. Excited about that, I presume?
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to it. It'll be my first World Cup, and I'm really looking forward to meeting some of the other women over there. I haven't qualified yet formally, so once if I qualify, I'll be absolutely thrilled to represent Australia in the table tillies. And hopefully meet some of the women that I've been talking to, Audrey and Steph Gardner, who produced this T-shirt.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it says. Riley's learning French, but I haven't learned it yet. What's it translate to say?
I think Steph will have to correct me if not, but I think it says, "Sorry, I can't. I'm playing Subbuteo." So yeah, so absolutely thrilled to be going over to the World Cup, 100%.
Have you played much in Europe? Sort of know the step and standard. I haven't played much. I've
only played friendlies, and I played a WASPA at London Road. That was fun. Got thrashed, but yeah, that's about my experience in Europe at the moment.
They're going in, no doubt, with a bit of trepidation as well as excitement around just what you're in for.
Absolutely, but more excitement than anything.
Yeah. And the home of Subbuteo, that was nearly tempted me to go as well. That's probably still a bit too soon for me, but being in the town, that was the birthplace of Subbuteo. Must be a bit of added excitement and nostalgia going there. Have you been there before? Being from the UK, have you been down to what's it called, Royal?
I haven't.
Have you been down that way?
I haven't been down there, no, but I'll go down there and take a picture next to the blue plaque, that's for sure.
Yes, yep. No worries. Well, good luck in the World Cup, Beth, and
thank you.
Thanks for talking on the show. I'll see you next Wednesday, this time next week, at the next WASPA for Northern Phoenix. Looking forward to that again. And
next Tuesday, yep.
Next Tuesday, is it? Is it the 20th or? Oh yeah, 20th. I can't even do the maths. I've lost track of what day it is. What date it is, isn't it? It's Valentine's Day, isn't it? Happy Valentine's Day, Beth. No. Okay, till next time. Thanks, Beth. See ya.
Cheers. Thanks, Adrian.
Yes, that was a great interview. I think you'll agree. Really enjoyed that chat with Beth. So thanks for your time again there, Beth. We'll try and seek out someone else to interview for March. So look out. I might tap you on the shoulder soon. Someone out there just to keep a bit of interest. I think it's a good thing to keep in our little newsletter, but more than just listening to my monotone the entire time. So I had a bit of a request for a training tip, so I'm going to add one of those in a second, and another competition, so listen out for that. That'll be open to all Australian residents only, this competition, to become an ATFA member. And soon we'll also hold the competition as well for the name of this vlog. We've got a couple of people that have posted some ideas, so we'll shortlist those soon, and perhaps in March we'll announce the shortlist to vote on. So without further ado, let's go into the training tip for this month. Okay, in this month's newsletter, we're going to do a bit of a training tip because someone put in a request for me to do one. This one is from Benny Ung from the Western Flickers Table Football Club, one he showed me a number of years ago. It's good for beginners, but also just to keep your skills up as well for more experienced players. So what we need is just 5 figures and a ball. So what we're going to do is flick each figure towards the ball. We'll start with the ball in this position, then here, then the centre, the other edge of the other side of the centre circle, halfway between the centre circle and the shooting line, and then on the shooting line. So it just helps you practice you're flicking at different lengths and different angles. And what we want to do, I'm going to flick at the ball whilst holding the camera, so bear with me. We want to hit the ball, preferably knock it just sort of about that distance forward as we go each time. What I tend to do as well, and we'll hold a bit of a competition for it, is count how many times you miss the ball as you go. If you miss, you've got to retake. So far, so good for me. Try and go through it reasonably quickly. You can go as slow as you like. For the camera, so it doesn't get too boring, I'll go through it reasonably quick. See what I can score there. I went past. You want to try and hit the ball forward as you do it. Miss, so there'll be 1. And you just got it then. Trying to do the camera is tricky at the same time as flicking. There we go. So I think you get the point. See how I go though all the way through. Gets harder obviously the further you go away from the ball. Missed, so it's 2. Just missed that one. Rather than bore you through them all, I think I'll just stop it there. So we do that. Keep going to there. The last one is all the way up here. What you can do on this last one, if you like, for the added bit of training is, if you flick towards the ball. Oh, that was terrible. Let's try that again. Flick towards the ball whilst holding the camera is quite complicated. There we go. And then if you want to, you can quickly rush up and finish it off. Try and do it within the free flicks and quite quickly as well, because if you're at that length, someone will come and try and block you very quickly in a real game. So that's our training exercise for this month, and a bit of a competition. Anyone that enters their score into the comments and isn't already an ATFA member will go into a random draw to have their membership for the year paid by myself, Adrian Connolly, the ATFA president. So if you're not signed up yet, good opportunity. It's not the lowest score, just put your score in. It's about having a bit of a go, trying out the practice, the training tip, and trying to win a membership. So that's this month's training tip. Okay, let's just a bit of probably about a wrap for this month. I hope you noticed my proudly displayed Northern Line Flickers shirt the crew gave me for joining the club for this year's season. This year's Australian Grand Prix, the rest of the season, of course, as a transfer. I'll probably wear some of the different ones I've got each month, I think, for a bit of novelty factor. Some of the ones I've got from around the country, people that I've either purchased or people have given to me, just to mix it up a bit, display people's colours. So yeah, great addition. I think you'll enjoyed everything. I hope you did, especially the interview with Beth. I thought that was my highlight of this month's newsletter. So it's great to see a lot of enthusiasm around the traps after the Australian Grand Prix. A few people organising other festive events already, so look out for those ones. Melbourne satellite being planned for April, and a Brisbane satellite as well later in the year, as well during winter. So watch out for both of those to be sort of launched in a bit more detail very shortly. So lots of excitement building after the Grand Prix. Let's keep it up, and we'll chat again soon. See you all. Keep on flicking.